Hey, I'm Lex.
And I'm Gibby, and welcome to another episode of Porch Swing People.
Gibby,
Lex,
I might have asked you this on the pod before. Tell us about a memory from your childhood that still brings you joy to this day.
all right, I have an odd one because I was thinking about this yesterday morning. When I was 8 years old, we lived out in the boonies, and the neighbors had this dog. It looked like a wolf. It was a big,
Oh, really?
yeah, and obviously had the instincts of a wolf. And she
And probably was a wolf.
could have been a wolf. Yeah.
End of the story. It was a wolf.
Yeah, it ate my leg. She was pregnant, and anyhow, so she disappeared, and they were kind of distraught, like, hey, something happened to our wolf. And anyhow, they got a glimpse of her, and they followed her, and she was down in a gully and had built a den and went inside and had her pups.
Like wolves do.
Like wolves do.
Oh.
And so the den had a small opening. They were concerned, like, hey, maybe. And I was like, I'll go in there. And they're like,
What?
yeah.
They thought it was a good idea to send an 8-year-old into a wolf's den of newborn.
Well, you got to remember, this is a number of years ago, so different mentalities. But, they had their dog at their side, so they were holding on to her leash. So I commenced crawling in there, and I could hear the little whimpers. And as I was going in, what was cool is it was cooler inside as further I went. And I was like all the way to my ankles. And I didn't have a flashlight or anything. So I was kind of like just reaching around. I remember touching the first one. I was like, ugh. And then I could still hear them whimpering. So I'm reaching out in the dark, and I grabbed two of them. And I was like, kicked my legs, and I said, hey, pull me out. So they pulled me out, and I have two of them. And I dropped them down, and I looked at them, and they were so just cute and beautiful. And then I jumped back in there, and I'm in there again, and I grabbed a couple more, and I get dragged, and I did that. They had 8 of them. I did it 4 times, and
Wow.
it was, and I went in again because 8 I had handfuls, and I was feeling around. There wasn't nothing else in there, and they were so grateful, and they're like, all right, we'll pick one. And of course I couldn't take it then because they were still,
Yeah.
they needed to be weaned off. But and so my dog's name was Ben, and he was a cool pup.
Wait, so I have a picture of you by a tree with like a scruffy looking dog. Mm-hmm. Was that Ben?
That was Ben. The one thing that was interesting about Ben is one ear would stick up and the other one was always bent down. The other
so
pups,
cute.
all the other pups' ears, and so I picked this one out of all of them. That was the one I picked, and that's the one I stuck with. And they were like,
Did you choose the name Ben?
yeah,
Oh, fun.
yeah. I
That
think
is
I
a fun
watched that
story.
silly show, Ben the Rat. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of disturbing, but there's a
So Ben was a good dog.
Ben. He was an awesome dog.
Wow, thanks for sharing that story.
It was cool though, dragging those pups out.
That's definitely a core memory.
Hey Lex, so tell us about our guest today.
So today we have a former colleague of mine, Alicia. I haven't seen her in several years, but we are, of course, social media friends, so we know each other's life pretty well, I would say. No, I don't know that much about her, so I'm really excited to learn about her. And I think it's going to be a fun time. But one thing I do want to say before we bring her on is that she is currently going through pancreatic cancer. She found out she had pancreatic cancer last year. She's very young. She's 39. And I know that that is something that she'll bring up on the podcast today. So I am really grateful that she is willing to share her story with us. And at the end of the episode, I wanted to put it out there that we plan to talk about both her GoFundMe and a pancreatic cancer research organization. Gibby and I plan to donate to both of those. And we would love to share both the GoFundMe link and the PanCan research site for any of our listeners who feel inclined to donate to those as well. We're so excited to hear what Alicia has to share with us today. Should we bring her on?
Let's bring her on.
Alicia!
Hi,
Hello.
Alicia.
Hi,
Thank you
look.
so much for coming on with us.
Oh, I'm excited to be here.
Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm Alicia. I teach third grade. I've been a teacher for the past 16 years. I'm a Californian, Washingtonian, so I'm a little bit of both. And I claim my Californianness very proudly, especially driving wise. And I'm a proud dog mom to an 8-month-old mini Australian Shepherd puppy.
Hmm.
And avid reader, avid traveler, like photography in my free time. Love a good reality Bravo show, just
Okay. Based
enjoying.
on that, I have so many questions, but we will start with our designated questions first. But you
Okay.
know what? We do want to see what Aspen, your dog, looks like. I'm sure Gibby would love to see
I
Oh,
Aspen.
sure.
because I have an Aussie Doodle named
Oh, do
Puppy.
you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Aspen's out. My parents are visiting from California right now, so my dad was nice and took her out for walks so that she wouldn't be,
Hmm.
otherwise she would be all
Hmm.
over the camera right now. But you can
Oh
see a
Oh,
my
little picture of Aspen.
gosh.
she's probably
So,
brilliant too.
wow.
Oh yeah, she's an evil genius.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, tell us a moment from your childhood that still brings you joy.
For me, growing up, every summer we did a 3-week tent camping trip, like car camping. And so those moments are like my favorite childhood memories because we went all over. So, I mean, I've camped in Canada, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, New Mexico, California, Nevada, like all over the West. And then obviously, like I said, up into Canada into like Banff and Jasper. And so, like, it was always just, I have a small family, so it's just my parents, my sister, and me. But those were fun trips and just like a lot of highlight, moments of things that I got to see and experience that a lot of people don't, or
Hmm.
that I just didn't realize a lot of people don't do camping,
Yeah.
even up here. And so, I even remember like in Yellowstone, like we had wolves howling across from our campsite one night, or my sister
Oh.
went to get water one time at this water spigot and was walking back and kind of was like, Dad. And he's like, just get the water. What is the problem? And we looked, and there's like a giant bison like following her, like walking
Oh
next to
my
her from the
goodness.
water spigot back to the camping site. So like things like that, that like, you just that's not like a normal everyday experience, but every summer we did that for 3 weeks. And
The
so,
best memories.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. Do your parents still go camping?
No, I mean, my mom has had some health issues over the years that have kind of limited her ease of mobility and comfort. And then now it's, like my dad's back is sore. So, like, they don't really camp. I mean, they still go up to the mountains a lot. And my dad's big into fly fishing. So they'll, stay in cabins or Airbnbs, but not
Oh, it's
so
wonderful.
much tent camping anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you have those memories with your family, and 3 weeks is like a long time
That's a
to
long
be out
time.
camping.
It is. I mean, my mom definitely was like very organized and like had everything
Mm.
mapped out and planned. And like we definitely, I remember going to laundromats, obviously, and we
Hmm.
might stay like in a hotel, like a motel, not a hotel, like once or twice in the trip to break it up. But yeah, I mean, it was our, long road trips and our trusty old Plymouth Voyager. That's what it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
big
that's
boat.
so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alicia, I'm curious about this question for you. What is a challenge that you overcame that you're now grateful for?
So, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer twice, and the first time was when I was 12. I was
Wow.
in, I think it was the end of seventh grade that she was first diagnosed, and then she got diagnosed again with a second form of breast cancer my junior year of high school. So, kind of formative years. My sister's 5 years
Hmm.
older than me, so she was going to college when it all started. So I was kind of the only one home with my dad and my mom. So I had to help take care of my mom a lot through it. So I saw like a lot of things that a 12-year-old normally wouldn't have to deal with, or,
Yeah.
and help with like laundry and cooking and just things. So it was definitely hard emotionally, mentally, physically as an experience. Thankfully, my mom is a survivor and she's in remission and has been since I was 17. So,
Wow.
we're going
That's
on what,
amazing.
22 years now that she's been in remission. when I look on it, I think it has made me a stronger person. I think it also made me appreciate life for life. Like, I've
Mm,
always been aware that life is finite. And I think that has definitely formed how I choose to live my life. Definitely
yeah.
around more experiences. I'm not a big saver of money for, you know, big stuff. And so I like to kind of spend my money on life experiences and things that I enjoy in the moment. And I think, and it's because of that that kind of changed my viewpoint of that and has kind of made me mentally stronger around some of those experiences, but also kind of opened my eyes to like the realities of what life can be too, that like life isn't just sunshine and rainbows and that there can be bad stuff that comes through.
Wow. Yeah, those are very hard lessons for such a young person to learn.
hmm Yeah, so cancer was always kind of the boogeyman to me, like just kind of feel like it always kind of haunted me. And so it's kind of, I guess, not fitting, but this past year when stuff happened and then I all of a sudden got diagnosed with cancer myself was kind of like surprising, but I guess also in a way kind of to me was like, oh, well, it got me in the end. I mean, I always thought it was going to be, breast cancer. I've always been very good about getting screenings and things for that. And thankfully, my mom doesn't have any of the like BRCA genes. So we knew that lowered our risk. And I say our, like my sister and me. But last year, I started having kind of like GI stuff. I had been diagnosed as like type 2 diabetes and had gone medications, but I was having like stomach pains and just digestive, like things were going really slow. And then I started getting a lot of
Hmm.
pain by like last August. And my primary care physician kept telling me that it was probably just side effects from the medication. And so she kept changing the medications I was on, but it just wasn't stopping. And so finally, I went to the ER after work one day and they did a CT scan. And in the words of the ER doctor, when she came back, they found a 6 centimeter worrisome mass on my pancreas and said that they were going to admit me to the hospital because all the testing and everything would happen faster if I was admitted versus if they discharged me, then it could take like
Mm,
months to get further testing done. So I was admitted to the hospital and ended up being there for 10 days. I was supposed to go to like Whidbey Island that weekend to go to like Practical Magic Halloween, and my
yeah.
friends were all there, and I had to like text them all what was happening, and so then they all came back,
Wow.
um, and then my parents flew up the next day, and yeah, just ended up being at the hospital for 10 days to get all the tests done, and it ended up coming back as pancreatic cancer, which the average age for stage 4 pancreatic cancer is 71
Yeah.
and I was 38.
Oh, so you're
My goodness.
winning.
Yeah, and I guess one of the warning symptoms is a type 2 diabetes diagnosis, but because
Really?
I didn't fit the age demographic
Mm-hmm.
there, that's why they didn't do any further screening at the
Hmm.
time. And so it is technically metastasized in the form of floating cells in my like abdomen. I don't have any other tumors
Oh,
other
okay.
than the primary, my pancreas, which is a good thing, but it is still technically stage 4 because it did metastasize into cells floating. Um, so that's kind of where we're at is that. So that was kind of a shock. So yeah, I went to work that
Kind
one
of.
Friday and I never went back. So
Oh my goodness. And you said that was in
yeah,
August, so beginning of the school year.
it was in October.
Oh, in
It
October.
was
Still
So
beginning
the
of the school year.
symptoms started in August and then I ended
Oh,
up
okay, I see.
not going to the ER until end of October. I'd gone to like the
Gosh.
doctor, I had gone to urgent care before that and nothing had like fixed it. So I finally ended up going to the ER.
all of us have a primary care, or hopefully you do, and you got to trust those individuals. They're there to help you. But eventually, you determine to yourself, hey, I'm not getting what I need. So you went and did it yourself. And I think that is a message for others that they need to know. Hey, if you're not getting better, if you're not getting the answers, you don't have to stick with the route that you are going.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is I think especially the pain I have a high tolerance for pain, and so I think probably if I had a lower tolerance for pain, I probably would have gone to the ER sooner. I don't it wouldn't have made a difference as far as where things stand as far as progression in cancer. But um, like I couldn't sleep. Like any position I was laying down, I had shooting pain from my abdomen that was spreading and radiating to my back. And
Oh
so
my gosh, that sounds so painful.
I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up in the middle of the night in tears, and then the urgent care told me to stop taking pain medication because it was masking symptoms and that it was just stomach inflammation. So then I was like teaching on no pain meds, like just getting through the day. And so that's where I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
It's not functional.
Um, no, no. I mean, like, I laugh because at the hospital they're like, "What's your pain level?" And I was like, "Oh, like a 4." And now I'm like, "No, it was like
Yep.
a
Alicia.
9."
Yes.
Like,
Those pain level things are so hard to do. Like you said, especially if you have a high pain tolerance.
yeah,
I
Because
know.
it's subjective. Everybody's different,
right.
and then the other thing, we're talking about being an advocate for yourself, and then the other thing is nobody knows your body better than you.
I had even seen a GI specialist back in January because things were feeling off and they did blood tests and they were like, nothing looks off. So I don't think we need to do any further testing. There's no way it could be cancer because all of your blood levels, your white blood count and everything looks fine. And so I think like that's like my cautionary thing to people is that I mean, in the news, especially, we're seeing that colorectal cancer is becoming more prevalent in those of us that are younger. But I had never heard anything about pancreatic cancer being something that could be targeting younger people.
Yeah.
You really do think about it as a cancer that tends to affect people in more like retirement age. But they are seeing higher numbers now of people in their 30s that are starting to get pancreatic cancer. And I mean, nobody knows why. And for my case especially, I did all the genetic testing. They tested me on 89 different forms of cancer, and I have no genetic predisposition to any form of cancer. So how this happened, I don't know, but it's one of those things where I hope my primary care physician is also more mindful now that if she has other patients in their 30s that are being diagnosed as type 2 diabetes, like maybe take the time to do some further testing because
Hmm.
um, I feel like if I had gotten that further testing done a year or two ago, things would not be at stage 4. They'd be at a much more manageable stage than where I'm at now. But that's the problem with pancreatic cancers. You don't tend to get any symptoms until it has advanced, and then it becomes more problematic. I'm fortunate because my cancer hasn't really spread, and since I've been on chemo since December, it has not progressed at all. It has
Wow.
continued. The tumor has shrunk, and it's wrapped around my veins and arteries. So I'm not a surgical candidate, which is part of the problem.
Uh-huh.
But at least I don't have any other tumors. I mean, there are people that are in my support group that, I mean, it has spread everywhere, and they're in their 30s. And like, it's
Gosh.
the spectrum of what stage 4 could be is very broad. It was a wake up call to me because I had done all the right things in making sure I didn't have breast cancer. And
Doing
I had
all
done
the
all the
right
things
things.
about and then, going and
Yeah.
get my annual physical every year, even with my primary care physician. But that never was like even on their radar. So it's, I think it goes back to that advocacy of like something doesn't feel right, you
Trusting
know.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, because I felt like, oh gosh, am I being a hypochondriac? you
Yeah.
know.
I understand that feeling.
Um, but I don't want other people to be in this same situation when it's you can catch it earlier. And they're doing further research. More things are coming down the line with pancreatic cancer, but it's not as well funded and researched as other forms of cancer. So
Hmm.
clinical trials and more targeted treatments are just now starting to become a thing. As my oncologist put it, he has me like on a chemo to keep me stable. I mean, hopefully continue to shrink the tumor, but also keep me stable enough until all these like life changing things come down the line. So I'm just kind of in this weird limbo of just keeping me alive to try to get these, clinical trials and other targeted treatments that are coming so that I can hopefully save my life. I mean, I don't fit the statistics, but the life expectancy to reach 5 years with a stage 4 diagnosis of pancreatic cancer is 13%. And to make it past 5 years is like 3% or something. My oncologist was like, you don't fit the statistics. Those are for 70-year olds,
Yeah.
and
There you
you're
go.
not. So we don't really know. So he won't really give me a prognosis. So we go with that. And
Well, he sounds
That's
like an
rough.
amazing oncologist.
He is. Fortunately, I was kind of in the right place at the right time because the oncologist I have has kind of like been one of the big people in pancreatic research for
Really?
years. And so he's one of the board members of like the PanCan network and speaks at all of their things and has his own connections with, clinical trials and research. So, I mean, I feel very much in good hands and very much know that his goal is my goal. And as he told me, his
Hmm.
favorite thing about me is that I'm very convinced that I'm going to survive this.
That's amazing.
Attitude.
Yeah, I'm a pretty optimistic person by nature, thank God, because this would be harder if you weren't. And they say they don't know why, but people who are optimistic tend to have better outcomes than those who are not. And they're not really sure what that connection is between your brain and body, but that's what we
Ooh,
go
I have
with.
a random question, and then I have another question, and then it sounds like Gibby has a question.
I have a question.
The type 2 diabetes diagnosis, so that's a misdiagnosis where you
Hmm.
do have, so they misdiagnose you because it kind of aligns with
Because
the other symptoms.
Yeah, because basically, the cancer has compromised my pancreas. So your pancreas is helps what regulates your insulin in your body. And so, yeah, the symptoms and when you do like your A1C blood tests or glucose random, like those numbers
Hmm.
will come back emulating like type 2
I see.
diabetes because your pancreas is compromised. So it's not able to like break down and process foods
So you have
like
to go
normal.
through like the regular grieving process of this type 2 diabetes
Mm-hmm.
diagnosis, and then everything after that.
Yeah, I mean, they said basically I don't have type 2 diabetes. So if those symptoms continued after cancer's gone, then it's actually type 3 diabetes, which is like a whole different category and would be insulin. You would need to get insulin. So it mimics a little bit more type 1 versus type 2 where you have like medication. My numbers since I've been doing chemo have been more regulative, so I haven't had to actually do
Okay.
they had me on type 2 diabetes medication still for a while, but it has kind of gotten better. But yeah, it mimics type 2 diabetes, but it's not type 2 diabetes.
I cannot imagine at all the last several months that you've had to go through advocating for yourself and making decisions for yourself and sharing everything that's going on with your community and everything else that I'm not naming. Tell us about something that your past self would feel proud of you about your current self.
Um yeah, so when my mom went through cancer, and especially the second time was really rough because she had a really aggressive form of cancer the second time, which is actually like her survival rate on that was supposed to be very low, and she made it through, which is why I feel like, okay, we've got good genes, we can
Yep.
do it. But I remember telling her when I was a junior in high school and she was going through that, that if I ever was in her shoes, that I wouldn't be able to do it, that I wouldn't do chemo, that I would just let cancer take me. And so and obviously, instead, I've chosen to do chemo once I've actually been in this situation. And it has not been easy. There have definitely been moments where I've wanted to quit. I've had, tough moments. But I'm definitely proud of myself that I took that on and didn't just give in. Because I think the difference is like I've seen what chemo can do. I've experienced it as someone who's been a caregiver.
Hmm.
And so going into a cancer diagnosis and not, it's one thing to kind of like know what chemo is going to be, but it's a different thing going in when you've experienced it yourself as a caregiver. Like you've seen the bads that come out of it and how challenging it can be. And so I'm proud of myself for actually going through with chemo and continuing to be a fighter because I know I'm a strong person, but I mean, the amount of strength you have to go through this and stay mentally positive as much as you can is hard. So I'm proud of myself that I did not follow my past self of saying that I wouldn't do
Yes.
it.
Your past self would be so proud of you.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier, I think, before we even started. Lexi has mentioned you're a badass.
We have 4-year-olds who listen to our podcast.
Hey, I do have a question, though.
Yeah.
You touched on it a little bit earlier, and I think it might be important for listeners, especially somebody that might find themselves in your situation is your support group. Do you find strength in that crew?
I have mixed feelings about my support group.
All right.
I think it's because pancreatic cancer still is predominantly people who are older. So there's only me and two other people in a group of like 15 that are in like 35 to 45 category. And then everybody else is pretty much like 65 and older.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard because I was going for a while and it was, nice to, I guess, get some support as far as like I'm not alone. But then I started getting a lot of emails about so and so has passed away from the group, so and so has passed away from the group, and it just started forcing me into fixating on like the fears and like the dark places of dealing with this. And I just felt like it wasn't good for my mental health to keep going because I didn't really want to keep getting to know people and then getting messages that they had died, especially if they had similar situations with their cancer as me. It's hard. So I was a part of another support group that was for young adults, which I had to laugh because in the cancer world, apparently you're a young adult if you're 18 to 45. And I was like, that's hilarious because if I got pregnant right now, I'd be geriatric. But in the cancer world, I'm a young adult. So, okay, whatever.
Perspective.
Yeah. And so that was a good group. And it was like four or five of us that wasn't just pancreatic cancer, but it was people who were younger and it was around photography and dealing with cancer. So there was a
Oh,
little bit of a
wow.
focus.
That's a very niche group.
Yeah. Well, and photography is one of my hobbies. So kind of
Yeah.
like, it was about kind of just giving us something to focus on other than cancer. And so I've kind of stayed in touch with more of those people because they're similar in age to me, and so therefore, I feel like there's a little bit more similarity. My biggest support system really has been my friends and family and community. Like just in general, I feel very, very lucky that I have such close friends who have shown up. Like all of my close friends, none of them have dropped off. They've all very much shown up, especially since I don't have family up here. Like they've kind of stepped up in ways to help support. And then my parents were here for 3 months in winter. They temporarily moved up here. My sister came up for a month to help with the puppy when I first got her because I said to be a crazy person and buy a puppy
A
after getting
puppy.
diagnosed with cancer. And then my parents are back now for like 6 weeks. And like I said, my school community has been amazing. Even my students' parents have reached out. I mean, like I have some other social groups that I've been part of. Like all these people collectively have really shown up to support in any way that they can. That to me has been, I think, a bigger thing to
Absolutely.
me than the cancer support group.
Alicia, you were saying that your plan is to do chemo until a clinical trial opens up for you in the next one to
Yeah.
5 years, is what your oncologist said, right?
Yeah, I mean, he said they just had this big conference, I guess, in Chicago. And so there is a bunch of stuff that's coming through the next year. I was in a clinical trial initially when I first got diagnosed. I was fortunate enough to be eligible for one right away, which is kind of, I guess, it's really hard to actually get into a clinical trial. So the fact that I was
Yeah.
qualified for one that early on was great. Unfortunately, I had a lot of negative symptomatic side effects from it that just got to the point where they felt like it was not beneficial for me to still be on it. But these ones that are coming out now are actually more targeted. So they run your tumor through a genetic sequencing and then they can like find all these different genes and mutations that your specific cancer tumor has. And now they're linking that to targeted cancer treatments. Can be gene therapy, can be immunotherapy, it can be even now they're talking about like targeted chemotherapy that will
Okay.
target specific genes and things that are
That's
more effective
incredible.
versus like a blanket chemo. Research, cancer research. This is why we cannot defund NIH and cancer research
Yeah.
because as I wrote to like my legislative members, like this is the stuff that can save my life and save other people's lives. Like this research is so important because especially with like pancreatic cancer, it hasn't had the amount of funds that like breast cancer has had thrown at it as far as research. And so these things are just now starting to come down the pipeline. So my oncologist is hopeful that some things could pop up the next couple months, but definitely the next year. And I know that he was saying that there's even more groundbreaking things that could come through in the next 5 years. So
Wow.
because I'm doing so well, in the, I guess,
She's
real,
doing air quotes, peoples.
Yeah, she did air quotes.
and in the world of cancer, I guess I'm doing so well, that basically his plan is to just, and with other patients too, if he can, is basically keep us alive and stable for us to benefit from these groundbreaking things that should be hopefully coming down the line. But they can be challenging to get into trials because some of the trials you have to fail your CT scan. So
Oh,
like your cancer has to show progression to actually qualify, which is like a catch 22 because like I don't want my cancer to progress to get onto a trial. So I haven't qualified for a few recent ones because my tumor has continued to shrink and I don't have any spread. And so therefore I have not failed my CT scan. So
wow.
it's a weird world with
Yeah.
trials. So I'm kind of just in this limbo waiting room where I'm just waiting to see what comes down the line. But at least I'm at a research hospital. I have an oncologist who's definitely advocating. I know that they have a cancer board where they talk about all the cancer patients, and I know strongly that they're always advocating for me because they do feel like I have a very strong chance of survival.
That's
I guess
incredible.
comparatively. So
Alicia, you
yeah, so
said
it's
you're a
just weird.
positive person. Your positivity shines through like 150%. I mean, I can feel it coming through the computer. It's amazing.
You're
Thank you.
downplaying it, by the way, so stop that.
Yeah, yeah, my mom always tells me, she goes, I think you're not really, you don't let people see all of it. And yes and no. I mean, I'm on a good day right now, so it's easier for me to be a lot more positive when I'm
Totally.
feeling more normal and like a normal person, versus like my days after chemo are pretty low. And those are when I have my really hard days of like, like on a hard day, like I will have no energy to do anything. And so like I'm just sitting on the couch and it can be energy just to like make it to the bathroom,
Yeah.
and walk back to the couch. And then I have this puppy. And so thankfully I've had, like some dog walkers or friends who help on some of that. Low days definitely are, you know, harder days to get through.
We've talked a lot about your community and your friends and your family. A while ago, you and your friends and some colleagues did, was it a 5K for pancreatic cancer research?
It was a walk, yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was the Pancan Purple Stride, I guess is what it's called. So it's a fundraiser for pancreatic cancer research funds. And so, yeah, that was in April and it was nationwide and they have them all over, the country and it's on the same day. And so I went to the one that
Okay.
was here in Seattle area and had some coworkers and friends show up and I went, I had just had chemo Wednesday and the walk was on Saturday. So I had just had
Oh my
because I have a
gosh.
take home chemo pump that I also do. So I get infusion and then I get to continue to have chemo at home for 2 days. And then I go in and get the pump removed. And so I had just gotten the pump removed the day before and then did the walk. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to actually do the walk, but I did. I did it. So I felt
I
very
am
proud of myself
amazed.
for that.
Me too. Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Yeah.
I have a super duper personal question. You don't have to answer it, but that picture behind your head did you take that one?
I did not actually. My
What is that?
sister, it's of chairs. My sister,
Oh, I see.
she bought some artwork and they ended up sending her like duplicates of some of them. So
Huh?
she gave me
That's
some
way
of the
cool.
duplicates.
It
And
is.
so, yeah, she's got a really good eye for artwork and like where to hang things.
Really?
I do more like landscape photography.
Okay,
Okay.
so tell us about your photography. Do you sell it anywhere?
I don't. My dad keeps telling me that I actually probably should start investing in
Yes.
building that piece out because I have a natural eye. I've never taken photography classes, so I'm not trying to come off and say like I'm like some huge like professional or that they're the most amazing art in the world because there's a lot that I don't know how to do on my DSLR camera. I got it a couple years ago like from my parents for Christmas because they're big into supporting us with whatever art endeavors. I'm not a super artistic person. My mom and my sister are definitely the artsy ones. I've always been more musically inclined, and then photography has been the outlet I have. So I make my mom a photograph calendar every Christmas for the next
Yay.
year. That's all of my photographs. And so she's
Oh, I
always been like,
love
you
that.
could sell these like with some of your
I was about to
photographs.
say
And
you could
so
probably sell this. Hey, we at the end of this, we're going to ask for a couple pictures. so Lexi can load those up on Instagram and Facebook.
Sure.
So we're very excited to see your pics.
I mean, it's one of the things where like maybe I should start an Etsy shop, but that also feels like a lot of work. And like, there's so many people I feel like who make the same kind of like stuff that I'm like, I don't know. I mean, like, what's
Oh,
to make someone
I
pick
know what
my
you're
stuff?
saying.
Or,
I know
you
that feeling of being like, I'm not the best. Why would they
Yeah.
choose me? Of course they would choose you because photography speaks to people. I just bought a print from somebody that I just stumbled across online, and it wasn't on Etsy. It was their own shop. I don't know where they got it printed from, but it is like the most beautiful, glossy print I've ever seen. The quality is amazing. I'm going to have to grab it at the end of this to show you because I just love it.
Okay.
I feel like you can set it up in a way that's low effort on your end,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I
If
mean,
you
I
get
should.
a
I mean,
print shop?
it's
Well, you don't have
Yeah.
anything else going on, so you can do it.
I know this is what I told myself. Like, well, I'll get a puppy. What else will I, I'll be home a lot. And I was like, this is a lot of work.
I'm assuming that you've been able to do a lot of reading recently, maybe a lot of
Yeah.
like movies. Tell us about a book that you are reading right now or that you recently finished.
I mean, I've been reading a lot. It's been one of my biggest comforts and escapes during all of this. I mean, I've always been an avid reader, but even more so with the amount of time that I have since I've been on medical leave this past year. I've been devouring books. So, and of course, I buy like 5 new ones to every one book that I finish. Right
That's amazing.
now, I'm reading like a mystery novel that's called like Maisie Dobbs, which is set in like the 1920s, and it's very like British, like Agatha Christie type kind
Yeah.
of
That's
very
mystery
cool.
type thing,
Those are fun.
investigation. Yeah. What else have I recently? I may have read a lot lately. I'm in a book club, so I know that I have to read I think it's called King of Ashes by S.A. Crosby, which is like a Southern, like mobster, like intense book. So
Wow.
I try to push myself a little out of my comfort zone with other books.
Yeah, very cool. It's hard to do that sometimes. What is the book club about?
It's on Instagram. It's like it's this guy who posts about books, and his job is to read through books and find books that he thinks should be created into movies and TV shows,
Oh,
which
I
is
love
like
that.
sounds like a dream job.
Yeah.
And so he reads some books that like I said, like I wouldn't always gravitate towards, but I've been trying to push myself to read some different things that, aren't just fluff, because I tend to read a lot of like fantasy, romance things where it's just more fluffy.
Yeah.
And so and then I like historical fiction a lot. Yeah, so I've just been reading a lot. So anyway, I've sometimes been reading more than one book at the same time.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That would
I mean, they're different
confuse me to
genres,
no
so
end.
they're different genres, so it's easy to kind of like keep them
Yeah, that
separate,
makes
because
sense.
like if one's
That
historical
would be really
fiction and one's
confusing.
like fantasy, like those storylines aren't
It'd
going
be
to
kind of like
overlap.
27 Dresses when she's going back and forth from different weddings. Do you remember that
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah.
But with books.
Yeah.
I don't remember that movie.
27 Dresses. She's, who's the name of the actress?
Katherine Heigl.
Yes. And so she's, she's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And she's been in like 27 weddings and
But are all ridiculous, like weird themes and things.
it's
but
just
she's
a
had to be the
classic
bridesmaid
rom-com.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am comfortable with my masculinity or my femininity. I like rom-coms, but I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Gibby, what's your favorite rom-com?
Oh gosh, you knew you were going to throw that at me. I don't know.
Alicia, what about you? Favorite rom-coms?
My go-to classic is Overboard with
Oh
Kurt
my
Russell and
gosh.
Goldie Hawn.
That's a good one.
I love that.
Oh, I love that.
More recent one, I really liked. Was it Red, White, and Royal Blue? It was based on a book, but
I don't
it's
know.
on Amazon, and it's a romance movie, but it centers around 2 male characters. So it's actually like a gay rom-com, which is nice to
Cool.
see some representation in the world. But
Yeah.
it's based on a book. So I'd read the book first, but it's cute. It's about like the son of the president of the United States, and he ends up falling for the Prince of England.
Oh,
and so they're
that's
both
fun.
like these. Yeah, you should check it out. It's cute.
Yeah, we'll have to.
So
I watched one a couple days ago. I watched Dirty Dancing. I don't know why.
that's a
I
good
was
one.
like, I want to watch. I'm like, I hope nobody else is. Yeah.
When I was going through early postpartum with my first child and I was up all night, I watched more classic movies than I've ever seen. Because, in the middle of the night, I'm like, I need someone to stay awake. I've never
Yeah.
seen this movie. And so I've seen a lot of, classic movies in the last few years. Kind of
Very
fun to
cool.
go back. Some of them don't hold up really well.
No.
I
Some of them don't.
I tried to watch the old. Oh my gosh! Now it just went off the. It's the jet dude. We're gonna have to edit this part.
The jet dude?
Yeah,
You're not talking
you know.
about Top Gun.
Yes, I tried to watch the original Top Gun not long ago, and I had to turn it off in about 15 minutes. So I was like, could it really be that hokey?
It is so dramatic. You've seen it, Alicia.
It is.
I couldn't watch it all. I had to turn it off. Back in the day, I thought it was the best.
Isn't that so funny?
It's one of my sister's favorite movies.
Oh, really?
I'm probably gonna have haters get after me at what I said. It just
saying
was
that you
really hard.
turned off Top Gun.
Top Gun.
I'd rather
went and
watch the new
watched
one. I thought it was
Dirty
good.
Dancing. I like the new one.
Yeah,
I think
did
the
too.
only way I've enjoyed watching Top Gun really is there's a theater here in Seattle that does heckle vision, and so they show old movies, and then you can text the heckles, and they show up on the screen as the movie plays.
Oh,
and so they
that's
every
so
4th of
fun.
July they typically do Top Gun, and so that one's pretty good because people have pretty clever jokes to say.
Do you think that they're
while the movie's
they have
going.
their jokes planned beforehand?
Oh, probably.
Because I
some
wouldn't be
of
able to
them
come
do,
up
yeah.
with something in the moment.
That sounds like a blast though for a night.
It is. It's hilarious,
Totally.
and they have different ones like throughout the whole year. It's just that typically around 4th of July they always do like Top Gun, just because it's
Yeah,
that
tradition.
vibe.
I love that.
Yeah, but it's a good way to watch some of those movies where you're like, oh, this is cringy, but like I've seen Anaconda with heckle vision before.
Yeah, I could see that. All right, well, next
That's
4th
way
of July,
fun.
I want to do that because that sounds something off the wall that I've not done before.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hey, so when earlier on in the storytelling, you had mentioned that one of your fond memories is camping. 3 weeks, that's a long time. But tell us today, where is a place that you dream of visiting?
It's tough because I guess I'm a big traveler, so there's a lot of places on my list. I was just talking about this yesterday with somebody that I think, honestly, one of my top places is Argentina. Like, I really want to do like Patagonia and also go up to Buenos Aires and do wine country because I'm also a big wine nerd. And so, yeah, Argentina is big on that list. I was supposed to go to Norway this summer with my family, and that obviously did not happen. So hopefully that too. I'm supposed to go to Scotland at some point with my best friend, so hopefully we'll get to do that at some point. But yeah, Argentina is kind of the biggest one.
Do you speak the language?
I did used to be pretty fluent in Spanish. It was my minor in college, and I lived in Spain
Cool.
in college.
Oh, really?
But I've lost a lot of my Spanish and my confidence, so I
bet it will come
understand
back
more
way quick.
than I'm. Yeah, I mean, I understand more than I'm able to speak, and I also get very much in my head about wanting to speak perfectly.
That makes sense.
But yes, I can't. Like, I can get by, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I would
even
say
better than
It's
than
like
the
riding a
average.
bike, but I can't ride a bike, so don't take that one.
So you have taught third grade your entire career? No.
No, just at the school that I'm at right now.
Oh, okay.
So I've done third grade. I mean, I guess technically 7 years, even though this year I only taught the first 2 months of school. I guess it still counts.
Yeah.
But I've taught everything except kindergarten. So
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
third grade's the sweet spot for you?
I think so. I taught first grade for a long time and was very convinced that that was like my favorite grade. And I still love
Yeah.
first grade. I'm definitely a first through third grade person. I'm not a fourth and fifth grade gal. I've done it. It's not my jam.
Is that when their attitudes kick in?
Yeah. And especially now in this day and age, like fourth and fifth graders act like eighth graders. And they like scare me,
Yikes.
to be quite honest.
I can see that.
You know, because sweet kids I had in third grade, I'll see like in the halls as fifth graders, like giving attitude and wearing crop tops and like, and I'm like, what?
2
No,
years ago,
like,
you were in third
yeah,
grade.
yeah, and you were so sweet. And then I'll like look at them and be like, no, and they're like, sorry. And I'm like, okay, yeah, like come on.
You know what, though? That's awesome, though, that you've left an impression on them that they don't want to let you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Alicia's an amazing teacher based on
Oh, thank you.
based on my experience working with her. I had the fortune of working with her. Actually, I was thinking about this when I was thinking about you coming onto the pod about some of the times that I made it up to the third floor.
The third
Yeah.
floor.
The third
We
floor.
had a mutual friend.
And Alicia, okay, tell me if this isn't true, but it seems like you are calm 100% of the time.
For the most part, yeah, with teaching, I try to be, especially, I do tend to do well with students who have, behavioral needs that
Yeah,
they can't,
you totally do.
quite be in control of. I tend to have a little bit higher tolerance and understanding from where they're coming from. So those students do tend to get placed in my classes just because um, I do tend to have a
Yeah.
higher threshold of patience
Well,
with
you carry
them than,
yourself with this. I said the word calm. I mean, you appear so grounded. That is such a safe place for any kid to be
yeah.
around you. That was my first impression working with you.
Oh, thank
Grounded.
you.
That's how people describe me too. Grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like building classroom community is very important to me. Like
Mm,
having kids really, respect each other and me and like operating that way is very important. So I spend a
that's so
lot of
hard to
time through the
do.
school year
Yeah.
building that. So like last school year, I feel like I had just finally
Mm.
finished building that by the end of October and then I was gone. So, but yeah, normally, yes. I also am very good about not getting into power struggles with children. So,
That's key.
yep. Yeah.
You guys, both of you guys are amazing because that is something that like I'm gonna win this. No, there's no winning. Just keep.
And there's no need to win.
There's no win.
You
No
guys are on the
win.
same team.
But I would say, like, just as much, I feel like I learned a lot from you than you, Lex, because, just the way that work with kids and see where they're coming from. Like, you're very good at what you do too, because not all, teachers who work with, different populations have that level of patience or willingness to understand each child. And you really devote time to doing that. So,
Well, thank you for saying that.
You should
yeah.
see how she does with me. Patience. Oh my gosh,
My
she's got
my
patience.
best student of all, Gibby.
As long
So
as I keep trying, she doesn't give up on me.
okay, I will
Yep.
never give up on any of my students, including my father. Alicia, how are you feeling about returning to school next school year?
I'm a little apprehensive. I'm excited. I want to get back for many reasons. One,
Yeah.
just having kind of a normal routine. I miss, seeing the kids. I miss working with my coworkers because school is such a collaborative work environment that, and I'm not a person that does well like by myself. Like the pandemic was like the worst thing to ever to happen for me because
Mm-hmm.
I am so social and I thrive in social atmosphere. So I'm excited to be back with like my colleagues and friends at work and kind of get back into the groove of things. But I am a little nervous about stamina, like energy wise. I know that everyone's willing to work with me with like my chemo schedule, but the reality is like I'm going to be tired. I know that my palliative doctor, which is not the same as hospice, just to put that out there to the world. Those things used to be the same, but they are not now. So when I say palliative, I'm
Okay.
not dying.
I did see that
It's
in your message on your what you posted yesterday. You said that
yeah.
too. So what is the difference?
It's basically palliative helps come up with solutions to make your life comfortable. And so it used
Mm,
to be associated with hospice because hospice is end of life care.
mm-hmm.
So yes, you do get palliative typically along with hospice, but it used to kind of just be like one
A
term. Like
package.
palliative,
Yeah,
yeah, like palliative was like your end of life care to make you comfortable until you
I see.
die. But palliative now is just like whatever situation you're going through, like how can we make you comfortable to enjoy your life and live it?
Okay,
It doesn't have
that
to be
makes a lot of
attached to
sense.
the fact that like you're at end of
Sure,
life. So like I
everybody
learned that
deserves to
too
be comfortable.
because right. But when I first like had the doctor come, I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. Okay, great.
You're like, I didn't
Like,
get that memo.
yeah. And so then they explained it. I was like, oh, okay, good to know. So that's why I always like phrase it with people like
They
palliative,
probably
not
should start
hospice.
off with, let's explain what this is and
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
preconceived notions you might have about it.
Yeah. So he's great. And so he basically said, like, there's, I don't know if it's natural medications or things they can prescribe, but basically there's stuff the like energy
Okay,
pills
I
and stuff
see.
that can like boost my stamina because he agreed that he doesn't have any qualms about me coming back to work. It would really just be the stamina piece. So it sounds like they have tools of things that they can give me to help with that because I think that's my only concern is like if I can make it through school day, but can I like safely drive home? Like am
Mm-hmm.
I going to make it through like long commute home? Like, and I know there will be some things that are different. Like I used to like go work out on my way back, which like I'll be lucky if I just make it through school day. I won't be
Mm-hmm.
working out, halfway
Going
through
through
my
the school
commute
day is
home.
the workout.
Exactly, yeah. and so I think it'll be fine. And I've got the dog has already been approved at the doggy daycare place down the
Oh,
street.
Oh,
Um,
sweet. That's
so
awesome.
so that way she'll be able to go there. Yeah, so I'm excited, but also there'll be challenges.
Yeah. Well, Alicia, I feel really hopeful for you for the next school year and
Thank you.
excited for you and apprehensive alongside you. I think it's going to go really well
Yeah.
and um yeah, well wishes, just well wishes for that. Cuz it's
I
time
Thank
just
for
you.
anybody.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just met you, and I'm not worried about you at all. I love your attitude.
Thank you.
Alicia, 15 years from now, what is something you'll look back on from today and remember fondly?
I think just like my optimism and the fact that like one, I will be here in 15 years. Um and just kind of knowing that like this was a blip of a time, not this wasn't my whole life, and that I was able to take it on. I was able to stay strong and positive through it, and continue to live my life as best as I can versus it letting cancer control my life and my narrative completely. I think that's the goal, and also just to like kind of learn from it. Like I said, I've always already believed that life is finite just
Uh-huh.
because of my mom, and so I still very much believe that. So, just gonna keep living experiences and look on this as like, okay, I made it through. I'm strong. I can do it. I stayed positive as I normally would, and hopefully other people can learn from this too, kind of thing.
I love the way you
Wow.
described, hey, this is just a blip, and it's a big blip, but it's
Yes.
just a blip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that stuck with me too. I think that can apply to anything that anyone is going through. That framework of like this is a blip in my life, like you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
I mean, it's the thing that keeps me going, because if you focus too much on the what ifs, and I mean, sometimes I do. I mean, I would be lying if I said I don't have those days where I spiral. But for the most part, I try to stay very optimistic about, like, okay, I will make it to 15 years. I will, get to look back at this and be like, I did it. I made it through, not ideal, not what I chose on my bingo card
A
for
very crappy
2024,
blip.
2025.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because last year was a rough year in general. I had started off the year with getting a person ran a red light and T-boned my car and totaled
Oh
it.
my
And that's
gosh.
how I started 2024. And I had made it through that and physical therapy and then got cancer. And so I was like, what is this? Thanks, universe. Like, so I keep also telling myself, like, I could have died in the car crash, but I didn't. So therefore, that would be really messed up of the universe to be like, instead, we're going to kill you through cancer. So instead, I try to view that like, no. So like, I will make it. And, 15 years from now, I can not fondly look back at this time,
Yeah, maybe
but
not
at
fondly.
least no, but like at least know that I was able to do it, that I was strong and positive, and you know, yeah,
But you know what you will look back on 15 years from now and look back on fondly is your trip to Argentina and your trip
yeah,
to Norway and Scotland.
Yeah.
yeah. And I keep saying I was going to do Disneyland when I got cured, but I think I'm now that I'm on definite chemo, I'm like, well, I think we'll have to do Disneyland before I'm cured because I don't want to wait that long. Um, so
That'll be
yeah.
fun.
Buy the
Uh,
fast pass.
Buy the fast
yeah,
pass.
I have a bunch of friends that we're all like planning to do like a big
Very
Disneyland
cool.
trip to, celebrate.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alicia, thank you so much for joining us on our podcast today.
Thank you. This was so much fun. Thanks for having me.
You're still bad at.
Dad!
Thank you.
Like we said earlier, your positivity shines through, your humanity shines through. You have the most wonderful smile. I just want to let you know. It's like totally contagious.
You do have a phenomenal smile, and they say ass in Lion King.
Oh my gosh. Give me
They do.
Okay, well, Alicia, we will talk soon. We'll talk
Okay,
soon.
sounds
Thanks for
good.
your time.
All right.
Have a good
Thank you.
day.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Look, that was such an awesome time with Alicia.
And again, another time that flew by in conversation. So inspirational. Her positive light. It is just humbling to listen to her talk.
And you know what's really interesting is I only knew her for a few years, working together for a couple years. And the person that I knew is the exact same person I see now. So brave, so grounded, so positive and optimistic. And I commented on her smile. I felt like I had to because I was just like kind of mesmerized. She just has this joy.
Sometimes I wish that our podcast had video because she has an infectious smile. She kept it on almost the entire time.
Yeah, she did. So what were some of the big takeaways for you, or small takeaways?
Early on, we talked about it. Don't get complacent, and the doctors that we see every day, they have to be smart on all things. But if you know that you're not getting better, you need to be an advocate for yourself. Go find other opinions. Go see other doctors. Go find specialists and find out what's going on with you.
And Gibby is speaking from his own experience to advocate for yourself and try to navigate the medical world, which can be really challenging. I'm really glad that she was willing to share her story with us.
Yeah.
She definitely didn't need to, and I learned a lot. I hope that our listeners will also learn a lot.
And hopefully anyone else out there that is being challenged right now, hopefully you can build off of that or gain strength from it.
I know I've said this a couple of times. I think that she should start a photography business, selling her prints online.
I think so too. She showed us, listeners, a few pictures. She is extremely talented. Hopefully she'll share some and we'll be able to put some on and maybe she'll get a bug and try to sell some.
I also loved hearing about the different books that she's reading, particularly that she reads multiple books at a time, but from different genres, so she's not mixing them up. It's so funny.
Yeah, that's a busy lady.
Yeah, and then what did you think about her pup, Aspen?
I'm hoping that she sends a pic or two of her pup. I was going to say she should send a video so you could do a boomerang thing. I love when you do those. But cute pups. I obviously have a soft spot for pups. One of the things that were interesting about her early memories was their roadside camping. 3 weeks, first of all, is a long time on the road.
You know what? I totally appreciate when she said that her mom was super organized with all these trips and had everything planned out accordingly. That's a lot to carry. So well done to her mother. Well, to sum up our afternoon with Alicia, Gibby and I both believe that it was such an honor for her to come onto the podcast, share a little bit about herself, about her cancer journey, about things not related to cancer. We had a great time with her. We had lots of laughs. She shared a lot about self-advocacy and navigating the medical world, which can be really confusing and challenging. We wanted to let our listeners know that Alicia has a GoFundMe to help her with her expenses while she is going through chemo and waiting for a clinical trial. As she shared, she was not able to work this year and she's planning to work again next year, but I cannot imagine the financial toll that it is for anyone going through the journey that she is going through. So Gibby and I wanted to make a personal donation to both Alicia's GoFundMe as well as pancreatic cancer research. She suggested the PanCAN organization, Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, and our intention is to donate to both of those, and we plan to share the links to both of those on our social media, so please be on the lookout for that. And that concludes another episode of
Porch Swing People. Out.
Porch Swing People is recorded and produced by Lex and Gibby. Opening music was written and produced by Michael Gibson. Porch Swing People is a podcast featuring everyday people. If interested in being a guest, email us at porchswingpeeps@gmail.com.